Here's a quick explanation of how children learn to read for the homeschooling parent. So there are two components in learning to read that need to be woven together. So one of them is our spoken language, our oral language skills, and in particular our listening comprehension and our vocabulary. So you can really help children build their listening comprehension and their vocabulary by talking with them a lot, answering all their why questions, no matter how many there are. Just think of it as contributing to their reading, and also looking at books and talking about the vocabulary in them, Antarctica and Jupiter and all those things are really important contributors to learning to read. And then once children hit school, they have to learn how to identify words, firstly sounding them out, and then eventually as they get good, they just start to know what the words are and they process the word all at once and quickly and become fluent readers. But the process of identifying and being able to spell words involves phonemic awareness. This is absolutely critical to learning how to read well, which is the process of being able to know what the identity and the order and the number of sounds are in words, and being able to hear all the words, all the sounds in a word, and then being able to match those sounds to letters. And our writing system in English is a bit appalling because English is actually a whole lot of layers of languages. So the old Germanic languages from the Anglo-Saxons, and then the Vikings, and then the Norman French, and then Greek and Latin all squashed together and mangled over time. So we have a fairly hideous spelling system, but it's not too hard to teach children if you know what you're doing. You just need to have a teaching sequence and follow it and make sure that you aren't overwhelming them with too many patterns at once. And then of course the third factor in learning to read well and being able to get words into orthographic memory for fluent reading and enjoying reading and being able to just read as though you're listening with your eyes is motivation. And so parental encouragement and enthusiasm and praise is really important. If you can always keep in mind, make sure you're giving much more praise than you are critical feedback or questioning, finding errors. If a child's got a whole lot of work on the page, firstly tell them what they did right before you start on what they did wrong. And try to have 5 times as much praise as pointing out problems, and also give children time to fix their own mistakes. The first thing when you see a mistake to do is go, just point to it and see if they can fix it themselves. Children are sensitive creatures and they don't like to have their work criticised, so often they can fix it themselves, and you say, well done, you fixed it, good job, big hug. Give them rewards as well. We all work for rewards. I will be rewarding myself for the huge amount of reading that I am planning to do during the COVID crisis. I've got all these new books with some wine and chocolate, and children can have stickers and the rewards that they enjoy. It might be screen time, whatever. It's really important that you stay on a positive footing and don't make this time of learning at home a drag. If my website is helpful in finding resources, that's great. Please don't use my resources unless they are fit for purpose. Mine were designed for use by parents and integration aids, because as a speech pathologist, you see your client once a week or once a fortnight, and you've got to give them a whole lot of stuff that they can't get wrong. And so I have quite a lot of workbooks, which I've got a free one for really little kids if you want, a letters and sounds workbook too, that's called, and then there's quite cheap ones that go through really basic spellings, and then for older kids, vowel spell, different ways to spell consonants, homophones, and then the longer words, going right up to Greek and Latin word parts. And then I also have some word building bingo style games, and also these word building, this is my answer to Scrabble, these downloadable word building card games. Hopefully they're cheap and easy to use. Here's a free one called Twender that you can use with children who are learning about vowel spellings. We have a lot of playing cards as well on the website, which teach children how to read, focusing on a particular pattern. And I also have a movable alphabet that you can download and print that you can use to build words and change words and help build children's phonemic awareness and phonics at the same time. And and then to give yourself credit for all the good reading that you're doing, we've produced this free reading and word journal. So when you're sitting down reading with your child, whether the child is reading decodable books, there's a big list on my website of decodable books. Some of them are free. Whether the child is doing the reading or whether you're doing the reading, you give yourself credit, some stars at the bottom, because it's hard being cooped up and doing work together, and especially when you're not a teacher. And so hopefully you can make it a positive experience. Good luck, you got this.